Hello everyone, greetings, namaskaram, namaste, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here and welcome to the Light Movements Talks. We're going to do a chant, so we can put our right hand on top of our left, cross our feet, repeat after me. Asatu ma sagamaya tamasu ma judigamaya. With your mom gritam gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hello everyone, thanks for being with me. So today's talk is the future, and the topics we'll be covering a new economy for a new world. The Light Movement envisages an eco-economy or an eco-community of people that work together, share common interests, and share resources and skills, technology for a new world. We're going to also talk about light infiltration and manifestation and how that will portray a new outside world. Okay, so let's start then, shall we? So, from our last talk, it was on dark infiltration and manifestation, and this relates a lot to, both worlds, you could say, but we could see a lot of evidence of the proof and the direct experiences of our own life experiences as an observer of how dark infiltration works in our life and how it manifests into dark. So I related to AI, or actually everything is related to the old world paradigm. Our money, our AI, the way we live, the way we think, the way we eat. Most of it is all related to the old world paradigm. The way our lifestyle even, and we talked in depth about, dark manifestation. What is dark? It's that invisible force on one side of duality, the dark side of duality, that infiltrates us, through temptation, through desire, and I use the religious term Satan, who is in control of this force, or a realized being or embodiment of that force would probably be a better explanation, and that's the extreme of dark. He represents that extreme in as a being. And the opposite side is the light, which is God, which is the extreme of that opposite, which is the light, God being the being. So both of them, you could say, is like, one is Satan consciousness and the other is God consciousness. And this consciousness, you could say, trickles down into this, it permeates this planet as low vibrations, as a frequency, you could say, and something that we can't see or can't measure, but we can pick it up. And if we're unaware, if we're vulnerable, if we're unconscious, we can identify with these emotions and these thoughts as our own, or these egos. So like these egos are like servants of Satan, of desire, the 7 deadly sins, like, gluttony, lust, greed, envy, jealousy, all of those, and they're in the commandments as well, and these are sins, these are, crimes that we do to ourselves and to others. So this dark infiltration that we explained in the last video, it permeates our body, but if we're not aware, if we haven't got the spiritual tools and technology to protect us, we are vulnerable of this force, and we can identify with it, and we can act on it, and we can realize it, and it can cause a lot of harm and dark manifestation in our world today as we see it in the old world. such as suffering in mental health, perhaps, or in wars, or suicide, crime, corruption, abuse of our systems, abuse of ourselves, abusing other people, all sorts of stuff. So that is satanic forces, Satan I call it, and I use the words interchangeably, Satan and dark, to describe that force that can we can receive, but we have to be aware and conscious that when we receive it, it's not us, it's fake, it's of ego, it's of untruth. But unfortunately, that untruth can get realized, or that maya, like, become into as an illusion, you could say, and it turns into desire or want, which really there's nothing there, and this is what the old world is based on. It's based on desire of something, either through Satan, through man, which may be desire of more money, more power, more control, and this means that humanity is not in control, and this manifests into a lot of dark manifestation, which is even diseases and our climate and all the rest. So humanity is being played. Humanity has been fooled by this dark force, and we don't acknowledge it because we think it's taboo. It's of the spiritual world or whatever. But I think people are starting to take notice of spirituality, and they're starting to become aware of the importance and the power it brings to us, and how valuable it is in our society and our world, and like how valuable it is to our mental health and our well-being, which the universities have proven, the academic and the science field have proven to be true, namely authentic yoga, self-knowledge, meditation, and even mysticism, and even religion, parts of religion that are still in its purest form, like forgiveness, compassion, even mercy, understanding, all of these virtues, love, all of these virtues. So the light movement embodies all of these religions, faiths, and spirituality practices. I myself would like to become a teacher on this area and this subject, and the light movement would also wants to develop its own teachings and spiritual practices of the light, to prevent dark infiltration, to stop dark infiltration, to heal or recover dark manifestations, and even to convert dark manifestations or like karma into light, and also to do light infiltration and light manifestation. Now, there is a secret movement in the light movement called the Secret Society, where people of the light movement are actually their own agent of the light movement, and they work in all levels of society, in their workplace, in the home, in government, in power, in the justice system, in big business, in small business, wherever it may be, in the justice system, politics. There's someone that is working there as an agent, as a whistleblower, as such, a person just to monitor things that it hasn't been infiltrated by dark. Just like in AI, like an AI scientist, for instance, that's a manager of AI scientist, and the AI has not been infiltrated to use for dark purposes, like to create a new disease, for instance, that could wipe out humanity. So that's the importance of the light movement as well. The light movement's secret society. I don't even know about these members myself, and you don't need to tell me about them. And MI5 or FBI or MI6, they can do all the investigation they want, and they can take all my computers and all my stuff away, but they can't stop it, because it's the secret movement is owned by everyone. It's in the mind. It's untouchable, it's unstoppable, and it's invisible force. Even if I was gone, even though I was taken out, that wouldn't even stop the light movement in the least, and the secret movement will continue. So rest assured that there's light movement members in all levels of politics, in the Kremlin, in the White House, in institutions and in security agencies, in every sector of life. There's a representative there. They can be whistleblowers. They just keep an eye on things. and they just see that everything is just going smoothly without dark infiltration. Now, the light movement itself is grounded on spiritual principles and human values. So, people that are non-spiritual, um, you know, accept and agree with the light movement, and they're very, very welcome. And people that are spiritual accept and agree with the light movement, they're very, very welcome, because the light movement is about truth. It's about truth in that direction. It's about light. And, I think a person that's non-spiritual or non-religious can understand, that there's a thing called truth, and the light movement is all about truth. So we will talk about, I just want to mention a big thank you to spiritual organizations out there and how important they are in this world. I really don't think that this world would be the way it is today with all the good things and good people that we have, without spiritual movements and organizations. So I just want to give my acknowledgement to them and people that work in those spiritual organizations, the volunteers and Sadhguru and Shloka, the yogis and the sages, and the masters. They do incredible work that the common person, me and you, the average person who's not interested in spirituality, we don't see. It's hidden from us, but indirectly, a lot of good comes from these spiritual movements, like charities, like the Sadhguru, with his Ishka Foundation that plants trees and helps create schools and education in rural India and helping to preserve and the soil, and there's other movements like the Brahma Kumaris as well that help people's well-being and mental health, and Ananda International. All there's so many spiritual movements that they're not recognized, and even the members themselves, they don't even know how much good they have brought to humanity in the world. That's invisible, that's indirectly, so that's all good for them as well. So we thank you for that. So this is about the future, right? And we believe, the light movement believe that humanity has been given a great opportunity with AI. From what I've been hearing and reading on the internet, is that it's a great technology that can replace or help, in areas of the intellect. Now we must stress that, because a lot of people are worried. They think IQ or intelligence is everything that embodies the human intelligence. It's not. It's only one form of intelligence, meaning measured by IQ, for instance, in the human being. But it's a very primitive form of intelligence. It's the intellect, which is basically logical, like ones and zeros, and yes and no, and black and white. So that's why it's very easy for computers to process this intelligence, because computers are logical machines. So AI is basically logical processing of information. That's all it is. But it does it in such a huge scale, with such a huge volume of memory and information, that it appears and it looks intelligent to man, which we call artificial intelligence. And it may even look very, aware, but it's not aware of itself. AI is not conscious of itself. It's not conscious of its thoughts, because it hasn't got awareness. Now it can simulate it, and it can mimic it as best it can to make it appear as so, but that's not the case. So it may never have consciousness, as consciousness is no thought, it's no calculation, it's instant, it's timeless, it's of no time, it's of no distance. It's like your awareness, you're aware of your thoughts, it's like understanding, a solution will come to you, just in a split second, but you don't have to think about it or process it. So there's no calculations in consciousness. It's instant, and it's no distance as well. You could be on one far side of the universe and another far side of the universe, and you can still communicate together instantly. So there's no distance, there's no time. It's timeless, and that's why AI could be a big opportunity for humanity to reflect on ourselves, and to maybe steer our boat, and put our value, and not so much on our intellect, in our school systems, basing our intelligence on our intellect, but maybe spreading it to other areas, of cognition, such as, understanding, creativity, consciousness, and even the spiritual technologies of telepathic information and intuition, and the ancient spiritual abilities that man has. We can actually, maybe put our attention more on that in the education system for the benefit of mankind. So rest assured, if it's taking our jobs, it's a good thing, because jobs, those jobs are very mediocre. Makes life very mediocre, very puny, very mechanical, and humanity has to evolve. It has to grow up and evolve. It can't just stay on the breadline or in survival mode, just for the sake of making more money and more power, more dominance. Because if we use AI towards that paradigm of the old world that I described about, having more power, more money, and all the rest, it's going to create more of the same of this world. More of the dark manifestations will arise and infiltrations will arise. Like, businesses will become bigger. They will, be able to be more monopoly of people's psychology in marketing, selling us stuff. So that means there'll be more stuff, on the market. That means tearing up the planet for resources. It's I think humanity are fed up with that same old feed. It was okay when we got to a pinnacle in that. We all have the comforts and the luxuries of modern day living, but we all agree that there's something else missing, in our lives. And even the people on top, the powerful elite class of the super rich billionaires, and the politicians and the leaders in government and power, they can all agree that once you have enough money, and once you have enough power or whatever, um, you can't go any you can't expand anymore. You're just limited, and actually it's actually not good for them. It can contract them. So they got to a limit, but really, if they really want to get out of that shell, light spirituality of AI is the way to go, and that's what we're going to talk about in this topic on a new world, which is the future that AI could bring. So we're at a crossroads here in 2025. I see it that God or the Creator or whatever you call it, humanity has been dealt a gamble of the dice. The dice has been thrown up, it's fallen down, and lo and behold, the number that came up is a number that everyone can accept. All humanity can accept can be used for the truth and for the improvement of mankind and for the evolution of mankind, for our well-being and our mental health and our spiritual ascension. So AI can really make great strides in a lot of departments when it's used consciously, wisely, and responsibly. Like we were saying in the last video that on dark infiltration, that instead of governments concentrating all our GDP and money on investing in the old world paradigm of creating more jobs and more money and more dominance and more power, all out of fear or desire, it doesn't lead to happiness as such, and it doesn't tackle the issues that need to be addressed today, the dark issues that arisen out of that need to be arisen today. It doesn't tackle them. Actually, I would say it actually makes the situation worse. We could have people that have less meaning of life when AI takes over and they think they're worthless, when it takes their jobs. The markets could crash. Even the military and war engine might go asunder. It might just invest all our money into it, which would be a waste, number one, and number two, it could be a potential risk and hazard. And there's just so many, and it's just a bad deal for humanity. And I call it a bad deal for humanity for this reason. Like, even for the elite that are propagating this, everyone gets a bad deal out of it, because we're just making an extreme old world of what we had, which is just more of the same, more pollution, more, plastic, more marketing, more spies, you know, more of the same feed, the same rotten meat. I mean, so humanity needs to move on from that, and that's what we talk about, the future, the new world. Um, and the Light movement likes to see that stem from a new economy that's a green economy. That AI, is directed towards. So that new economy, for instance, could be an eco community or an eco economy of living off the land, or not living off the land, living in a utopian society, you could say, but a lot simpler way of life, a much happier way of life. Like world peace can happen. Climate change cannot be an issue anymore. We can reduce a lot of crime. We can reduce a lot of depression, suicide, and that will mean that we can reduce intoxicants, drugs and alcohol, and we can basically, if we use AI consciously, of the light, we can basically infiltrate all that dark infiltration that is messing our old world, our outside world, and our inside world in today's world today. We can use light infiltration to get into those systems of government and power, into our individual person as a human being, through the spiritual technologies of yoga and meditation. So to protect ourselves from this dark force, this satanic force, that tempts us to have desire, which is evil and which causes so much destruction and hurt and suffering. So the Light Movement would like to create an ecosystem or an eco community of people, like-minded people, where we share, skills together, or we share our resources with one another. For instance, I'll give you an example. An example might be, I might be an IT engineer, and there might be another person that might be, I don't know, maybe a solicitor, for instance, and that person wants, to learn about, AI technology. So I would show that person AI technology, and I might want a solicitor, for instance, for a service, for something to do with law in the old world, for instance, and then he would help me with that, or she would help me with that. So it'd be an exchange of skills. So it's like kind of like I scratch your back and you scratch mine. You can go that way, or it could be the solicitor teaches me how to do that skill or that profession, and I teach the solicitor that skill or profession. So we don't need to get a full degree on it. We can just extrapolate what we need to learn from someone's profession and qualification and skill. Like a plumber, for instance, might want his car fixed, and the mechanic might want his broken tap fixed, for instance, and they come together and they can show each other how to do it, which they learn to do the skills of the other person, or they exchange the skills themselves, or they can just be friendly, very friendly. They could just volunteer and say, no problem, I'm a mechanic, I'll fix your car, and then another day, look, you're having trouble with your water supply at your house, let me sort it out for you. So that way of living is a selfless living. Okay, it's instead of asking what's in it for me, and I want things and all the rest. It's about looking after other people and saying, what do you want, rather than what I want. So we have that type of psychology in if it's based on that type of psychology, the community, it means that no one will go short, no one will be left behind, because everyone's looking out for each other. So if everyone is looking out for each other, holistically and ubiquitously, everyone's looked after, everyone's provided for. So that means that there's no stress that you have to earn something, or you have to contribute to something, or you have to do something to make a living. The economy serves us. or the eco-economy serves us, not that we serve the economy, because that's what's going on in the old world, where we serve the economy, which is basically a wealth machine, and it takes that GDP off us. Maybe a trader or stock analyst, or like a big corporation, financial corporation will within a couple of minutes take a huge chunk of that GDP and just trade it on the stock market, you know, and take like 10 years of work or GDP worth of value off a country's nation and just store it in, the rich elite's bank accounts for forever, and that value, that human value of everyone that put their work into for that 10 years, like 100,000 people might have made that, maybe it's 2 or 3, billion, 100 billion or something like that, that's stored away, that value stored away. And if that value is not shared or used for good purpose, for humanity, it could just disappear within time, or it could just be squandered on, maybe create more business, to sell us more stuff, or to pay for more things, just all of a materialistic nature of desire. So it doesn't serve humanity. So, they're really irresponsible, and they're committing a sin when we're really kind of serving the economy for that purpose, for ourselves really, because our money is going to be funneled into projects that we are unaware about, like investment in the military for AI, dark stuff like that, and things that we don't even know about, that we're not even getting a vote on, and we are the people, basically. We represent 99% of the planet, so that's why I mean that Satan is in control, or fooling humanity, and the elite as well, through desire and through that temptation. So humanity, it's no deal. It's a bad deal for humanity. The old world that we talked about there, and that's unfortunately that's where all the money is being invested. 15 trillion is going to cost the end of this decade. By 2030, $15 trillion will be invested in AI, just for for spies, and for selling us more stuff, and for businesses to become bigger, and basically for the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer. And we have to stop that. We have to kind of say, look, it doesn't actually benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit the people on the top. Above all, it doesn't benefit them, actually, because we find that as actually dark, because someone has to suffer to create that wealth, and if that wealth is not put back in, and on humanity, it's basically squandered or lost to Satan, or this dark force. So anyway, that's why we say use AI, use everything that we have at our disposal for the direction of the light, hence the light movement. And it's about creating that new economy that we talked about. Now, in that economy that the light movement proposes would be, a local community in your area. It could be 20 miles in size, 50 miles in size, 100 miles in size. It could contain one person, just yourself, or 10 people, 100 people, or a couple of thousand people. And we're all basically volunteers. We contribute, but we don't always have to contribute. We contribute when we feel like we want to contribute. But it will be designed in such a way that people will feel like they want to contribute. They feel like they want to even do some physical work. They want to become part of the community, rather than just degenerating. They want to give. They want to put value into it, because they're getting value out of it. So it's like, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, and all of the deception and tricks of the old world will be cut out. Meaning, there'll be no money there. It'll be just an exchange of information, of goods, of just out of kindness, out of friendliness, of cooperation. It's about independence from the system. It's about better quality of life for you and your family, to be brought up in the countryside, or to grow up still in the city but really enjoy it. It's about better food. It's about using the science and technology of spirituality for human evolution, for ourselves, for our well-being and our mental health. So it's good for all. And there's a place for everyone there, rather than the old world economy, where one size fits all. Get your 9 to 5 job, and just do your thing, and we take all your energy away and all your time away, and your wealth goes into the system for other people to play with. Now I know that's you know there's some happiness there, but generally that's where the model works. It's like dog eats dog, world. You got to make it onto the top to actually become successful. And I think that the ones that make it on the top, I think they're the most miserable ones, because they find out that they put so much effort and so much time and their energy into where they are today, whatever position they are, and they have so much hundreds of millions or whatever. They feel very angry inside because they're not content. They're not happy, and even the homeless person they're looking at on the street is more happier than they are. So you have to question, why are this elite doing what they're doing, with trying to extrapolate all this funds for the old world paradigm, that there's nothing there to achieve. That game is gone. That game is up. Not unless they're completely unconscious or there's something very satanic about it. And that situation, the wool is clearly pulled over their eyes, or where they are being played, and there's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay for it, and it's been proven by the spiritual science. It's called karma, but the opposite is dharma, where you actually you look after your fellow man, you help your fellow man, and that's dharma. So the Light Movement's community is about dharma. It's like a dharmic lifestyle, where you want to help the community, you want to help your fellow man, you want to see your neighbor do well. You don't want to be in competition with everyone else and get to the top before everyone else and race to the top before everyone else, so you can say nah, I'm here first and I can do what I want, I can bully the world. No, it's about looking after your neighbor. It's just like the Ten Commandments. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love God. Love spirituality is God, and when we embody those spiritual truths and principles and values, rooted in a community, it's the grease that will just make the whole mechanics of it work nice and smoothly. Rather than in the old world, you have to have a qualification, you have to have work experience, and even you have to be in a clique, or you have to be born into it or inherited into a business or something like that, which is satanic as well, because that restricts and limits humanity's ability. Certainly we can see that in the education system, how it failed us to, molds us to be cogs in the wheel of the economic engine, as it were, as a way of success, and money can't buy everything. That's why this new economy that the Light Movement proposes, this eco-economy, it's not based on money, it's not based on wealth, it's based on quality of life, it's based on dharma, good karma, it's based on human values, it's based on respect, common sense, it's based on wisdom, it's based on the spiritual science and technologies, the virtues. It's based on humanity. It's based on prosperity. That's based on evolution of man. For a better quality of life. Where life comes first. Before anything else. And in that new economy or that new community, life would be so natural. It'd be like you wake up in the morning happy, and you'll say to yourself, wow, was yesterday really true? This is fantastic, I'm alive. Not waking up in the old world, where you have to go to work, and you have to pretend to go into work, and when the boss comes in you have to pretend you're working, and you have to get a pay pack at the end of the day, and you go and spend it on alcohol or a holiday, one holiday a year, or buy yourself a nice car or something, and that's about it really. No, the new world is beautiful, and it's not a depiction of a futuristic world. That I've seen a futuristic world, and it's very miserable and very boring. That people envisage, where there's all these space rockets in the streets and these big skyscrapers shooting around, and people going from place to place, a bit like the Sixth Sense, really. where there's no it's like this world, the old world, but it's like an extreme version of it, and a futurized version of it, which is very dark and it's very mechanical and it's cold and yeah, I wouldn't want to live in that world, a science futuristic world of flying cars and space shuttles and even intergalactic travel. I find it very cold and lonely and very dark. Even if you have dominance and you have all the power and control and all the money, in my heart it would make me feel sick. To see my fellow man just become an automan, just a robot, just a mechanical, unconscious creature, as it were. That hasn't lived up to their real potential. It can never be realized, really. So that's Satan controlling or enslaving humanity, and it's trying to paint these pictures in our head of what it wants us to be like in the future to serve him. And this is what the old world is, the current world is running towards, hand over fist. And they can have it because I'll tell you again, there's nothing there, and the game is over. It's the light. The light is the future, and that's why this video is called The Future. The light is a new economy that will manifest into a new world, a new economy of upright living. Of instead of turning on your radio and your TV and bad news comes up, for a change, good news will come up, good stories. You just like be so happy, to see good news around. Oh, they've tackled the climate change issue. This is fantastic. Oh, they stopped this war and it's world peace. This is fantastic. Oh, they made this new invention that reduces pollution and reverses the climate change. Oh, this is fantastic. They made this new technology that's like renewable energy and it costs nothing. Oh, that's fantastic. All these great inventions, all these great strides, all these things that can, take out all these dark infiltrations and manifestations. It means humanity can then start to live a really rich, enhanced life, of something more, something better for everyone. Everyone, can agree upon. So borders will be no more, religions will be no more, because it'll be so pure. Everyone will love each other as a human race. It'll bring humanity together in unity. And everyone will love each other, and we'll be doing things that are far more important than what we can realize and think about right now. We can move on. It's the next phase of humanity's evolution, and that's the direction of the light movement wants to see for the outside. For the outside world. For humanity, to make it conducive, at least at the best, so people can get a head start in life from the education system, to be equipped with the tools and technologies, spiritual tools and technologies, to cope with life, for better well-being and mental health, and to not be, just abused and shaped and molded just to fit someone's ideals of, society, of how we should live our lives. So it means different lifestyles in the light movement. It means being unique and different is celebrated. It means that if you want to do something or you want to realize something, you have that space. You have that space, you have that power, that you have that freedom to do it. And if it comes from respect, and if it comes from what can I do for you, rather than what can you do for me, you'll be looked after, and it'll become so natural living that spirituality become natural. It'll be like we'll be living it for real. We don't even have to meditate even. It'll be just so, we'll be an embodiment of the best that spiritual technology can bring us for the outside world, just as much as the inside world. And that's what I mean by true living, true quality of life, rather than, hoping, which most people are doing, and, trying to reach a place, of that pursuit of happiness and or success. You are successful when you're born on this planet. It's like, you are successful as just a human being. It's like, welcome to the human family. You've made it, and you can do what you want. You don't have to be measured. There's no stress. no hassle, there's no all the crime, there's all these dark things will start to fold in on themselves, and humanity will start to respect itself, become more conscious of itself, love one another. Um, You'll make great things. You can leave your door open. You'll just wake up blissed out, blissful. Say, "Oh, another day. This is fantastic," and you go to bed so happy, and your aspirations and dreams can be a reality, and you can become a realized being, a real person. So these are just the direction of this new economy that the Light Movement proposes and would like to start in the future. Of free electricity, no money, because money we know corrupts. Not all the time, obviously, but it can get into ways of being corrupt. Anything dark infiltrates, it can corrupt. Even the human body, we can see it in the old world. It made young people into pornographic minds. That leads to abuse of their own body and other people's bodies. Satan, he's intelligent, and this humanity has to be just a little bit more intelligent than him to figure out that it's a no-brainer, that it's not worth it to invest our efforts and all our technology of how far we've become, to just give it all away just to some old world paradigm again. That would be a very sad thing to see happen. But if it does happen, that is only the outside manifestation. I myself and other people will, do our spiritual, things and our spiritual ascension, and we will be okay. But I'm only saying this just because I want a better outside society for people in general. For non-spiritual people, non-religious people. So they can benefit. From, they can benefit from it. Their children can benefit from it. They'll have something more than hope. And that, my friend, is light. So yeah, the Light Movement is talking about that new economy. Where qualifications aren't so important, but your capability and your ability is important. Where truth is important. Truth will be the new authority. And we're talking great inventions. Like the Light Movement will like to have a community of people where the best scientists, AI scientists, the best rocket scientists, farmers, builders, electricians, plumbers, politicians, judges, presidents, person with no skills or no one at all, everyone's welcome, because everyone has something good in them and has a quality and a skill that can, contribute to the Light Movement on a volunteer basis. Not like you have to give it, do something, but you just want to volunteer naturally. And if we base it on the ground of, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, or look, I'll do it out of friendship, or what can I do for you? No one will be left behind, no one will feel left out. It'd be like we'd be fighting with each other, saying, what can I do for you? No, what can I do for you? So it'd be a great world we're talking about here. And the great thing about it is it's doable, and it's very achievable. We have the tools and technology now. AI hopefully will accelerate that for us. We have the capabilities and technologies to do that. We have the will. We just need the will to do it. But we need to all now take that power that we have within us, from this video, to take this awareness with us and to use it, to question things, to be the change in the world that we want to see happen. So like it might be on your Facebook or on your social media. It might be, make people aware of great things that you'd like to see happen, or make people aware of dark things that are happening and are not so good. You know what I mean? But if it's all done out of truth, it's a no-brainer and it's all good. So yeah, really, really exciting times ahead with AI. I'm very optimistic. Either way. I don't think humanity can tolerate too much suffering. When we get enough of it, we want to change, don't we? But hopefully we don't get burned too much from our misuse of AI. But as I recommended, the first country that invests in AI for the good of humanity towards truth, they will be the winners. They will be the ones that will inherit the earth. Yeah, I mean, just be optimistic about it. Don't see it as a dark thing that will take your jobs away. See it as an opportunity that will free up your time so you can be with your loved ones more, and you can work on your projects more. You can actually experience what it means to live for a change rather than escaping life, and just giving all your time and money away to something, to be enslaved to just a mediocre lifestyle of living, with a roof over your head and food on the table, I mean, and desires and luxuries just to keep you going. I think humanity wants a bit more than that. And the good thing about it is we don't need much. We can have much less um, of what we had in the old world. We don't need so much. It was just all this stuff. We have warehouses full of stuff. Like holidays and pollution and all this kind of thing. It was all geared towards the economy, the education system, the economy. It was very satanic. The old world was, in terms of that. Now, I'm not putting the economy down. Like, it has done good things, but we can diversify, can't we? With AI technology, if AI is better than us and does their job better than us, and it takes our jobs from us, we can diversify a little bit more and put our expertise and our dreams into something else for a change. And I think that's the way forward. So a new world, a whole new world, and helped by AI. That will create new inventions, new technologies. That sounds really good to me. And And I think it's, if we can, spread that and empower people with that, and respect people with that, people will be conscious and be aware, to, we don't have to be so controlled and so policed and legislated so much, and guarded. Like, we can be more freer, and but we'd be more of a better lifestyle of living, with less even, a more basic life, but a much more advanced life, much more enhanced life, especially with the spiritual science and technology, that AI could help us in that department as well, to simulate different ways of living, different economies, different environments that are in the interests of everyone, rather than, just a few that think they know what they're doing, but in the interests of everyone. So, humanity has been very lucky. This dice has been thrown and it's landed on a number that could do a lot of good for everyone. It's a number that everyone was looking for. But lo and behold, it's a holy grail. AI came out trumps, So I think that is a future. And it's the future of evolution. Just like the song goes, if you tolerate this, then our children will be next, So certainly we have to be very wise, and I think we have to empower ourselves that the old world shouldn't be, controlling us again. So I have to go now. I'll take a phone call. See you all. Thanks very much for listening to this video. God bless you all. I love you all very much. Thank you.